record on this. All right, I'm recording from both ends.
All right. Get my stuff set up over here. Cool. All right, Ableton is now recording. All right, you're just gonna have to send me the Zoom video because you still need to give me permission. So just send that to me in the Dropbox as well, okay?
Got it.
All right, awesome. Welcome to a special episode of the Wandering Legends podcast. This one's also going to be on our YouTube page. I'm Josh on the Discord, and known as Academic J. We got Chris, aka Commander Chris, here as well. So this one's a little bit different. All right, we're doing a whole series of top tens. Okay, and these series, it's really based around anything that we think, something about the story of different Pokemon, something about um, you know how great they are competitively. If they just look cool, just top tens. And the way that we've been doing this is we've been actually having a bunch of people send us their top tens of certain Pokemon. We compile them all together and figure out what is the group's collective top 10. And the first one that we wanted to do is ice types, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get this started off. And then Chris is going to jump back in 9. We're going to go back and forth 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and Uno. All right. So, number 10 Pokemon. It's one of my all time favorites. It's Glalie. All right. Glalie is a pretty kick awesome Pokemon. I know it actually got banned a couple gens back because it had the ability to become a monster. Okay. It's known, I got it right here. It's known as the face Pokemon. It's just a straight ice type. Uh, and the cool thing about Glalie is it's a hidden ability Moody, right? So at the end of every turn, a random stat is raised by 2 stages while one is lowered. And if you don't check that real quickly, it gets out of hand really, really fast. I mean, even if it's an attack or a special attack set that lowers by 1, a couple turns in, it's fine. Plus, it knows Frost Breath, so it's going to critical hit anyway, right? And that's kind of the reason why it was broken a couple gens back, because it used to also affect your evasiveness and accuracy stats. So didn't want that. Shiny's pretty cool where it has different colored eyes. The Mega is probably one of the best Mega sprites there was. So it makes our list for number 10. All right. Chris, what you got for number 9?
All right, so for number 9, our group compiled Mamoswine, which is arguably one of my favorite Pokemon that came in for Gen 4 as a uptake on some of the older stuff. Fun fact, evolves knowing Ancient Power, right? The first time I ever tried to get it in, I think it was Platinum, I did not know that. And I remember I was leveling this thing up to like 80 and it was not evolving. And I was getting so pissed. And I was just like, why is this thing not evolving, man? And then I finally, decided to ask around. And I was like, oh, you got to teach an Ancient Power. Oh, yeah, that was simple. Would have been nice to know that 30 levels ago. But I like it. I mean, overall, good bulk, good speed, ice ground typing, extremely viable. And of course, thick fat, right? So ups your defense abilities. A lot of times I've run mine with either leftovers or ice shard, depending on the team and what item I could afford to, move elsewhere. And then ice shard for the priority. So it's a very good revenge killer, very good bulky setup where you go in and, when opponent's low on health, you take a hit easy. Now you throw out an ice shard. Now you get leftover recovery. Now you protect and stall out the heal out. Then you swap back out. So definitely has a lot of options, both in singles and in doubles. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, Mamoswine's pretty cool. I usually run mine with a focus sash kind of thing, but yeah, it's pretty nice. I love it. All right. Number 8, we got Alolan Ninetales. This beautiful, beautiful Pokemon. I love this thing. All right. Again, its speed tier is pretty nice with a base 109. It's really one of the faster mons out there. It's really, really good for its, again, hidden ability, Snow Warning, where you set in the hail. It's your hail setter if you're running the ice team. Overall, it can be a wall. I mean, for a dog, for a little ice fox thing, it can 100% be a wall. It's got a really nice special defense stat as well. And first things up, you got the hail, you set Aurora Veil, you got all your defenses up, and you just kind of do what you need to do with it. The double typing with Fairy is real nice to kind of smack around some fighting types that come your way. So it kind of covers the ice weakness on that side too. So that is our number 8, Alolan Ninetales.
Also, with Lonely Ninetales, one of my favorite things with it is I like the utility set, especially in doubles. So, like you said, speed tier is very good. You're setting up hail. So for me, I love running it with Aurora Veil and then fake tiers as well. Kind of your sub to most of the way you're going to use Whimsicott a lot of times. So you're not needing to waste a turn on Tailwind now because you're setting your weather for a speedy weather, so now you're getting an additional turn of the usage out of it. So I like Focus Sash or Veil turn one. Then I'm going to do a Fake Tears, lower my opponent's special. Pair that up next to Lapras, and you're setting yourself up for a nice, easy sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I love pairing this thing up with Alolan Sand Slash. You know, the steel typing on one side, the fairy typing on the other side. It kind of covers a lot of bases. You mean Slush Rush on that. It's not in our top 10 spoiler, but it's a good pairing. It's a good pairing. Alolan Ninetales. I mean, it's great. It's perfect. So
All right. Well, coming in at number 8, we have the
seven,
spook. Oh,
seven.
7. Number 7. Correction there. Thank you, Josh. We have the spooky Frost Glass. Wow. The mine that I'm looking at is actually from you, believe it or not.
Not surprised.
Um, Interesting. So yeah, Ice Ghost typing. Um, I think this is yeah. So this is the one that I've been using in singles a little bit. I'm not much of a singles player, but I've been running Trick on it. Um, I've seen a lot of fun shenanigans with Trick, Willow Wisp to cripple some physical attackers there, Ice Beam, and then Shadow Ball. And I mean it's up there. It outspeeds. It actually yeah it does outspeed my Alola Ninetales. Special attack's not too shabby. It's pretty much right under Alola Ninetales as far as that's concerned. And then that ghost typing is very utilized. So you could bring it in against a normal, a fighting type, force your opponent to waste a turn, especially in singles. So if your opponent's going to go for a let's say they max, right? And you got a normal type out. Odds are they're going to go for a max fighting move, try and boost their attack, raise their stages. Now you can swap in Frost Glass, waste a turn of their Dynamax for free. Then you could turn around and now you're probably going to be faster than their max and 90% of the time. So you can go ahead and throw a Will-O-Wisp on there or, Flame Orb if you're wanting to use that to guarantee yourself a burn. So a lot of utility as far as singles play.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things to do with Frostless is use a red card, throw the red card onto a Dynamax, and then once you hit it, it immediately knocks it back out. Right? It's the only time I've ever seen somebody be able to switch out a Dynamax, completely waste it. It's not the easiest to pull off, but once you do, it's super satisfying, and most people just kind of rage quit immediately afterwards. So,
Oh yeah, the eject button swapperoo.
yep,
That's monstrous.
yep, eject button. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So number 6, we have the a fan favorite with Galarian Darmanitan, the giant gorilla itself. All right. This thing, I mean, there's really not much more you can say. It just hits hard, hits fast, and probably dies if you don't watch out. But you really, if you get it going, that's all that really matters. Guerrilla Tactics boosts the attack, but locks you in, so it's a free choice item right there. And since you're already locked in with Guerrilla Tactics, uh, you can do a choice scarf, or if you really need to hit harder, choice band. Uh, Mess around. Like I said, if in singles, it's great. It's great. I mean, the defenses are not really there. So if it's going to get tag teamed, if it just because you can't let it get on a roll. But in singles, it's set up Icicle Crash, set up U turn. It's fun to work with. It also has Zen mode. So Zen mode is also just, you never see it. You never see it. I've used it twice as a belly drum substitute option. It kind of uh, throws people for a loop when that comes out. It's again fun, super fast, super speedy. I mean, even in Zen mode, when it gets to that point, its attack goes up, its speed goes up. Uh, it's risk reward situation right there. But yeah, there's a reason why it got banned.
Yeah, there is. Oh. All right. So coming in number 5, this is a mon that I used on my singles team to this day, and that would be Cloyster. First of all, Skill Link, one of the top 5 to 10 Pokemon abilities there are. Any multi-hit moves guaranteed to hit 5 times. Uh, it didn't get Scale Shot, which I was kind of like, man, that would be so broken, but so great. Um, but yeah, so you got normally you're gonna see a Shell Smash set carrying a Focus Sash. Then they'll have Ice Shard for priority. You'll have Icicle Spear, and then Rock Blast. To kind of cover your 2 main threats there. I personally, I love it as far as just mind games, right? Because if I lead it and my opponent leads passive, you're giving me a free turn to set up something that's going to sweep through. And even if you Dynamax in front of it, I'm going to take 80% of your Dynamax's health away most of the time. And if you play passive and let me set up 1 to 2, I remember this one time, probably about a month ago, I was playing someone and they went with, who's their lead? Uh, I think their lead was it was a stall Ferrothorn up front, right? It had Toxic Spike, Spikes, Ingrain, and Protect as its 4 moves. So literally no damaging moves, right? So turn 1 they did they threw some spikes down. Turn 2 they threw spike downs, and I at this point I still had my Sash attack, so I can safely keep clicking Shell Smash. And so I was able to max my attack, and needless to say, it really didn't matter at that point what their team was because I just swept everything. So yeah, I love Cloyster. It's easily in my personal top 5. So I'm glad it made the list here where it did.
Oh yeah. Well, it's my top three, so it's great. I mean, yeah, like you said, singles, it's great to set up. Doubles, it's a fantastic utility. I don't know how many times I've seen it paired with a Mudstale to get that defense up, like Dynamax kind of thing like that. So even if you're not doing a Shell Smash, Focus Sash, or White Herb set, um, it's still really viable. It has pretty good speed, not the best, but not the worst, and its defenses are pretty rock solid too. I mean, you can't really skip out on that. Um, so, number 4, Aurorus, one of our newest additions in the Crown Tundra. Um, I love this thing. It's so elegant looking. It's probably one of my favorite fossils to come out. Overall, that's a lot of really good things for an ice type. It has a snow warning again. If you need a hail setter, it's right there. It's got slower speed, so I mean it can probably set up after a couple things. Not Torkoal, but I'm trying to think of what other like sand kind of setup kind of thing like that. Um, that's a little faster than it. But yeah, so it sets up that it can do that if you're running a Hail Team Slush Rush kind of situation. But it also has Refrigerate, and Refrigerate's pretty cool because it turns all your normal types attacks into uh, Ice type, you know, attacks. So before we had Ice type attacks that freeze everything, but now we got Ice type attacks that can paralyze because you had a body slam. Now you can run body slam and do an ice tap for some stab damage, do some paralysis in there as well. So there's a lot of cool things about it. It's got pretty decent HP. The special attack is not bad at 99. It can break through some walls that you don't expect. It's a little bit weaker with a couple times 4 super effectiveness, but it's fun. The shiny's beautiful. Like I said, it's just a little elegant fossil dinosaur. So Aurorus, number 4.
And one other cool thing is it does have Hyper Beam in its move pool. I wanted to double check because I was like, I think it does. And so yeah, you're talking a Stab Hyper Beam from Aurorus, which is pretty great considering normal doesn't have anything that's super effective on. So definitely can easily dispatch a lot of dragon types for you.
Yeah. I mean, it got freeze drying. I mean, if you did want to run refrigerate, you still got freeze dry for your ice was super effective against water. And then you can make hyper voice, as like for a better, so you're not wasting a second turn afterwards, to kind of do that. There's so many really cool things on it. There's some specs on it if you need to. It, all around, it's just a fun ice type Pokemon.
Definitely is. And that now takes us to our number three, Frostmoth. Um, so I do really like Frostmoth. More singles than doubles, just because the bug ice type is it's a little rough to get around in doubles where you got to face down two things at once. But I mean, it's first ice scales, right? So it's going to have any damage taken from any special attacks, which means you can throw them into something you know is going to be 99% of a special mon. And as part of singles, you're reading. So now your opponent has two options. They can throw a attack that's going to get half damage, or they're going to swap out. Either way, it's going to give you a free turn of Quiver Dance. So then when you use Quiver Dance, now you are going to boost your special attack, defense, and speed stat. So once again, now you're becoming even more of a specialty Pokemon. You're now getting faster the way you can outspeed things. So personally for me, I run Air Slash, Bug Buzz, Quiver Dance, Ice Beam on mine. Usually, like I said, I'm going to bring it out if I see something out there. If you have a Clefable on the field, yeah, you're going to have a fire attack, but I'm also going to be max bulk in my special side plus ice scales. So I'm not really stressing it. I'm going to go out there, set up on some quiver dances, and then I'm just going to max and go for some hail right away and take the game.
Yeah, Frostmoth is definitely dangerous. I mean, I know when I first used it, I got real confused because it was just dying left and right because fire, 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 and then just looking through it. But as soon as you get it figured out, it's it's fun. It's real fun. Nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. I mean, especially also, and minus quiver dance, right? You still have, because of its typing, you're going to have access to air slash. So nice move right there. You're going to get your max airstream now with the Dynamax we got. So it has a way to boost its own speed, not dependent on another monster. So you're not wasting a turn of tailwind. I mean, you could throw it up next to some follow me, let him stay a little bit, let him get a speed boost, and he could be a crit machine. So you could always throw a special little item on there and just air slash away if you really want to play for some cheese.
Yeah. Speaking of cheese, my favorite cheesiest mom. Number two, Weavile. I love this little prankster. All right. So Weavile, the sharp claw Pokemon. All right. So all my Weaviles are girls. So I refer to Weavile as she all the time. So fast, hits hard, ice dark typing, has access to brick break and low swipe, low kick, excuse me. It's just it's fun. I mean, it takes down things it shouldn't take down if you're playing it right. And then the big thing about cheese, one of my favorite things to do with this is lead with beat up. If you throw a King's Rock on this thing, max and just jolly, max speed, max attack, throw the rest in HP or whatever, and you just teach a beat up 6v6 singles, have it lead the team with the item King's Rock, you're going to flinch pretty much half the time. It's 6 attacks. Each attack is 10% chance of flinch. You know, um, their actual numbers there moves it down to about 50%. And you can do that and just make people so angry. And one, if you win that way, great. But what it does, it kind of frustrates your opponents whenever you're playing them. You get 2 or 3 flinches in a row, they get real frustrated and their mind's not in the game, and chances are you got it after that. Um, it's real fun to do. It's unfortunate that we can't do it in the ranks battles where it's 3v3 or 4v4. It's where you can't access all six hits on that, but it's fun to throw at your friends when they're not expecting it. Um, This is probably my favorite shiny. It's between this one and Crabrawler. Crabrawler, not in Sword and Shield, but if I'm looking at ice type shinies, uh Weavile is perfect. I mean, it's a dark type Pokemon. Dark being, evil type in some translations, but menacing, dark, hidden in the shadows. And this thing, it's just so punk rock. Like it's shiny as bright pink and bright yellow. You can't get that's not dark. It has this kind of attitude, this swag. Like, no, I'm here. You're gonna look at me. Uh, don't care. Don't care. We're just gonna beat up on you. No big deal. So Weavile, number two.
Right. Well, that takes us to number one, the mon that basically ran on everybody's first or second place for the list here that we compiled. That's going to be Lapras. Understandable. It is a very good mon this generation. It got a lot of boost, especially getting that early G Max form to help it up. Um, a lot of versatility. For me personally, I usually run mine extremely bulky, extremely slow, and I don't know. If I'm running Lapras, 90% of the time I have a weakness policy on it. I have run a Life Orb sometimes. I have, on leftovers and max cheese, but 90% of the time I'm going to run that right there. And then one thing with it, you have two good abilities. I mean, both of them have really awesome setups. So you got shell armor, so now you can't be critical hit, right? So you're talking a lot of mons that are going to go for that Drapion, Urshifus, right? You can't get critical hit. So very good for your defensive side because that does ignore any boost you have on the defensive side of the ball. So that's a really good one. Then hydration. So if you're toxic, if you're burned, if you're paralyzed, set up your own max geyser and cure yourself at the end of the turn. So very good versatility with both of his things. And then now going on to its G Max form, which is where they made it on that nearly broken list for me. Uh, you're getting a strong ice attack up. You're not going to set hail, but you're going to get a free Aurora Veil while doing damage. That is insane. Going on, you're looking at 90% of the time if you see one, you're going to either see Thunder, Thunderbolt, you're going to see a water move. Usually it's going to be Hydro Pump because that's going to be the one thing they don't want to click, but they will if they have to. And then you're going to see Freeze Dry most of the time for that ice move, just to be able to hit water types for super effective damage outside of that Thunderbolt. So anything like Gastrodon switching in, we still have a really good answer for it. And then usually protect as well. Some people actually do run it with Parish Trap stuff. Once again, another versatility of it. I know Josh has a really good team with that on the YouTube channel that you can look at and watch. It's just all around. I think this was the right place for it because this thing is easily one of the best ice types we got, and then it got so much better this generation with the way the format is and the Dynamax and everything else. So I definitely think it deserves that spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm piggybacking off of it. There's just so many great things you could say about this Lapras, right? Like you said, with all these things. When I'm running it, what besides the Parish Trap setup, I like to do Assault Vest. Just really get it as bulky as possible. Um, the one ability that I love to have on Lapras, and it's almost exclusively, is that Water Absorb, especially now that we're in Series 7. You got to have Draco Fishes back trying to do Fisharius Rens. Switch it in correctly, it doesn't matter. And my, whenever I'm thinking it, I always run doubles, like you said, freeze dry. Yeah, I'm, Thunderbolt, absolutely. I do Ice Shard for priority, and typically do Surf. Because if you're running something with a weakness policy, it doesn't have the best attack. It's a special attacker. So you can just set off that weakness policy of your friend if you need to right there. Um, but yeah, Lapras has always been good. I mean, just the Dex entries just crack me up just to see how far it's come. The early ones were talking about how it was so gentle that it actually got overfished and was endangered. And then all of a sudden, like in the past couple gens, there's an abundance of them, and they're all over the place. I mean, it was First thing you see at Silpho, then all of a sudden you have to wait until Monday in the Johto to get it. It's just always little niche things with Lapras that kind of keeps a place in your heart and maintains relevance with this Gmax coming up. Yeah. So
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree. I think it has so much versatility. And I did forget all about water absorb. I'll never forget, man. Joey loves that thing, especially on switch ends. That's pissed me off a couple times more than it should.
yeah. So
Um, but yeah, so I guess that takes care of our list here, guys. Like we said in the beginning, all of these are compiled lists as far as the typing goes. I will have different things that are going to be just my opinion. We'll also have some stuff that's just Josh's or Will's or any other guys helping out with the group. And the other thing we want to reiterate to you guys is send us an email. Let us know your top 10, and it doesn't even have to be of ice. Let us know your top 6 favorite darks, top 5 favorite fairies, your number 1 have to have it dragon type. Throw us your ideas and what you like to see so we can use those when we're looking and building up that type specifically in the future, because we will love it. And who knows, we'll even give you a shout out either on the podcast or on the YouTube channel and kind of let you guys get some props as well. Beyond that, I did have a question for the day. So my question for the day for everybody that I want to ask, I want to know if you could change one Pokemon on this list, right? Change any of their abilities or move pools, which would it be and why?
so you want to know if we could change any Pokemon, any ability, and any move pool? One
If
of
you
the
could take any of the Pokemon that we've discussed today, any of these top 10, change any of their either move pools or their abilities, what would you change it to? It has to be a current ability or it has to be a move pool that you can justify it actually learning, right? So Weavile maybe getting Dark Void, right? Like that would be insane. Something
oh,
like that.
or you're talking Cloyster with Scale Shot. I already know my answer. If I could change an ability on this, I'd definitely get Frostlass Sturdy. Just really mess with some people.
I think for me, I think I'd have to stay, man. I would want if I could change one thing on it, I'm giving Cloister Scale Shot because I mean boosting your speed after after a hit, having another way to deal with dragon types beyond your ice, having a neutral hit against, some things that you're not hitting very well anyway. I love it. Plus, with Scale Shot, you could probably end up doing a build not using a Shell Smash set. I'd run 4 attacks, throw on
Salt Vest.
throw on an assault vest. Yeah, probably an assault vest, or
His
make them
defenses are already pretty good.
huh?
Because his defenses are already great. Boost up that special defense with that Assault Vest.
Yeah, I mean, to me that would be the go-to, just because I would have so much fun messing around with that thing.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah, I just want to see like there's certain Pokemon that are just like niche Pokemon. They do one thing, but they do it really well. You know,
yeah,
and that's kind of building off of that idea of doing like Cloyster. Let's build off of this, skill link because it does it really well. I mean, it's the I'm it's not even arguable. It's the best one with skill link as an ability. Um, but like I don't know. I'm looking at some of these other ones and changing like anything to make him a little bit more versatile. I mean that'd be it. Like I would change like Frostlass if you because it's your suicide lead. You're either doing a focus sash or something ridiculous, but you know it's gonna die in like 1 or 2 turns. But if you give it sturdy or something like that, it gives you an option to have a different item, gives you an
yeah.
option to play with different things. So, but yeah, please let us know. Let us know. It's send us the email wanderinglegendspodcast@gmail.com. All right. Come back for more stuff. Go to the YouTube channel. Everything's going to be in uh, the descriptions below. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
We are.